Stockholm syndrome is what our people have. I looked up this with somebody that I know, and I'm kind of sad because me and that person have to have a long talk. But many of y'all has asked these questions about Stockholm syndrome. Really, you asked, or you're wondering, as my shadow's right behind me because of this silly light, how I had to take my damn hoodie off. Anyways, how come people ain't leaving? How come they went to the wilderness? It seems they scared. They too comfortable to let go of their comfortability. Well, the problem, y'all, is none of those things. Stockholm syndrome, the description of the Stockholm syndrome, when the enslaved person end up loving their slave master. And the reason most y'all haven't left, because you have Stockholm syndrome. You love your slave master and you don't even know it because they brainwashed you. As one of my brothers I spoke to about this said, our people have been severely brainwashed. So y'all got out most of the brainwashing. Half of you, a lot of you are still religious, which is a bad mistake. You're about to see why in a second. Some of you are free thinkers, but you just ain't made the move. So that would tell anybody that either you love slave master or you have the symptom called Stockholm syndrome, which is a mental illness. And it's happening due to slavery and abuse. Now, for instance, there's a couple of ladies that actually got raped by somebody and abused, kidnapped and all that. Well, the police caught their rapists and everything. Well, they went to jail. Well, the person that they raped, the females they raped and abused, felt so bad for them. Hear this out, y'all. Felt so bad for them that they end up waiting for them to get out of jail and they married them. Okay? And the truth is, some of y'all don't even realize what's going on with y'all. But let's get to it. If you look up Stockholm syndrome, it comes out as spiritual abuse. When you look at spiritual abuse, it comes as Stockholm syndrome Christianity. You can't make this up. So our people have been spiritual abused with Stockholm syndrome. And the problem is that there's at least 10 or 15 scriptures in your King James Version Bible that I actually had looked up. And they're there. I want you to look it up because I'm not doing the work for y'all today to look it up. I want y'all to look it up. But I want to explain this to you. And then I want y'all to go do research and look up these scriptures so that you can see that you've been spiritual abused. And that's why you have not left the cities when the book tells us do not live amongst them, which is in the cities, but you do. You sojourn when you go to work and you leave work and you're back here, which is legal to do under the Creator's eyes. But you guys are living all amongst them. I'm sorry, man. It is what it is. I hate to call you out like that, but it is what it is. Now, spiritual abuse. What is spiritual abuse and when does it happen? Spiritual abuse, we already went over. It happens when someone uses spiritual or religious beliefs to hurt, scare, or control you. So they use it to hurt you, use religion to hurt you, use religion to scare you, use religion to control you because they got some beliefs that are not true. Okay? And they did this to all our people. All right? Now, here's what you did to your people. Now, watch this. It can involve someone forcing you or your children to practice in spiritual or religious practices when you don't want to. Now, y'all all know our parents forced us to go to some buildings and forced us to practice religion when we didn't want to, right? And y'all know some of y'all taught y'all children that mess because you thought you're doing the right thing because you were forced. It was forced on you, which is not but witchcraft. And that's because you have Stockholm syndrome. Maybe you won't let go of this Christianity or any religion, period, because you need to go all religions and be a free thinker, but you won't because you have Stockholm syndrome and you really do love your master. You love your ex-master because he's falling and you can't serve two masters. So if you're going to love them, you'll fall with them. It's one thing to be cordial. It's another thing to live amongst them and feel bad to the point that you'll live amongst them. I'm not saying we can't have empathy. a little sympathy. But at the same time, bro, people gonna get what they deserve. And they did a whole lot to the Creator's people. Now let's keep going. Now they tell you that you married Christians, right? And that you are the bride of Mr. J. This is what they tell you. And every religion tells you you're a bride of somebody, right? Just about. So, what type of trick is this? Well, I looked up that. Definition of what I just described would be a shotgun marriage. What is a shotgun marriage, you ask? One, a marriage forced. They forced that marriage on you. Or required. They forced that marriage and told you it was required when it's not. Because of pregnancy, you're the bride. When you're the bride, that means what? You having his baby, right? So they forcing this on you. This is all a trick. All and called also shotgun weddings. Now watch this. Number 2, a forced union. By you doing Christianity and any other belief, they force a forced union on you. Okay? A spate of broken marriage. And the marriage is broken anyway because it's already messed up because the devil's going to harm you. But he tricked you to think you his bride. Right? Hostily angered shotgun marriage. And that's also in the book of John. Okay? So they force you to believe in religion. They force you to live in their cities. They forced us to accept their money. They forced us to build the White House. They forced you to go to church behind the whip. They forced a brother of yours to teach you the scriptures they wanted to have you teach, or they killed them. They forced these teachers that go to school to become a pastor to give you religion, which is what? Stockholm Syndrome, spiritual abuse, Christianity. Now, for those who got out of Christianity and you still have some of the Stockholm Syndrome, you have it because you're still in the cities. You won't leave. When you don't have Stockholm Syndrome, you say, fuck everybody and everything that don't want to come. I got to go. I can't wait on nobody no more. I got to go, no matter who it is. You worry about you and the Creator. But if we have Stockholm Syndrome, we get excuses like, we're trying to take care of this before we even got this. You know, you can do all that down here and have it taken care of while you're down on the wilderness, and you can still go back and forth to a job, because going back and forth to a job is a prime example of sojourning for a short period of time, 8 hours a day, right? You ain't got to live amongst them to make the money. You ain't got to live amongst them to take care of your business. But the reason why people won't do it is because they have Stockholm Syndrome. And I'm telling you, there are scriptures. Matter of fact, let me help y'all out. Let me do this for you. I'm just going to prove this. King James Version Bible, scriptures about Stockholm Syndrome.
I found these results.
Now, man, Christianity, highly scripted to spiritual Stockholm Syndrome. What's the Bible tells you? The Bible says the whole world is a prisoner of sin. That's a lie. You're not a